right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. Right here, we are joined by New York City's finest. That's right. We got an amazing hardcore punk rock band right here in the building. We got Scarboro right here. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Killing it.
I definitely agree. You guys absolutely are killing it. I've been seeing your social media, what you guys have been doing. Definitely, absolutely just tearing up the punk rock scene. So thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station Airways a bit of your time. It's such an honor to speak with three talented punk rock musicians tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome, but of course I'm not going to take you away from your Thursday evening too long, so I'm going to jump right into this, but I got to take you back to the very beginning of this amazing New York City-based band, and I just got to ask, how did all three of you guys first come together as one to form Scarboro?
So I'll start. So, Scarboro technically started in around 2012. It was kind of sort of like the proto Scarboro on the way to this. For me, 2014 I think is really the year where we put out our first EP. And back then it was just me, this guy Robin, and Taylor. But then Robin ended up moving to Florida, and that's when Jack joins the band, and kind of the modern iteration of Scarboro takes off. We took a little bit of a break for a few years, which I'm sure we'll chat about. But then Radhika actually just joined us this year, so we're stoked to be back at it with the brand new lineup.
Yeah, I was just interning at a recording studio, and all of a sudden they needed a bassist, so I hopped in.
Yeah, Jack actually worked on that first EP too, so it was kind of the fates lined up for us on that one.
Yeah. And with Radhika, sorry, I was gonna say with Radhika, the Craigslist god smiled upon us.
Hey, well, there's not a lot of great things come off of Craigslist, except for, honestly, bands. I've heard horror stories even with bands, so at least you came across a positive Craigslist ad. We don't need to get into all the horror stories, but I'm pretty sure you all have probably seen and heard of them.
Oh yeah. We've lived some of them, but we'll save that for another day.
Well, hey, it's great to know that you lived them and you actually survived and you're still here today to actually talk. So, I mean, that's a blessing.
We've survived more than Craigslist to get here. I'll tell you that much.
But also as well, speaking of first EP that you guys were actually just mentioning briefly, that dropped March 17th of 2014, and it's actually called The Safe Word Is Yes, which is actually a 4-track EP. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this amazing EP, and of course, are there actually any plans to actually release a 10-year anniversary remastered edition this year, since it is the 10-year anniversary of it?
Yeah, I mean, time flies, so I didn't even kind of clock in that it's been 10 years. It feels like we recorded that a little while ago. So yeah, that was kind of unique. It's a sort of a 50-50 split. So the old bassist Robin wrote 2 of the songs on that one. I did Zero Fucks and Sex and Cigarettes. And yeah, I don't think there's really plans to re-release. Like, we've sort of been so stoked on sort of the new direction that we're headed with, like, the new stuff that we've been writing. We've been writing a bunch of new songs and focusing on hopefully getting a full length recorded. We're sort of trying to make up for lost time there. So that's really where our 10-year sort of energy is what's the future of Scarboro looking like? And so yeah, that's sort of where our focus is right now. Yeah, it was a dope record. It was like sort of our first go at recording, and obviously it's what got us Jack in the band.
And I gotta say as well, Zero Fucks honestly is one of my favorite songs off that album, man. Like, literally, I mean, I know it's only 4 songs, but if I had to choose 1 out of 4, it definitely is going to be Zero Fucks.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a banger. Maybe it's time to dust it off, put it back on the set.
And Jack as well, because obviously this was actually the EP that you actually first joined the band on. What was it like just being in the studio very early on in this band, getting offered to actually be a part of this EP?
I mean, I was happy to be working on a punk record, Like, I was at a recording studio, and I moved here because I wanted to work on punk records. And the studio I worked at worked on all kinds of genres. So I was like kind of just like chomping at the bit for a punk band to come through. And when Sure came through with the other iteration of the band, I didn't know that I was going to end up joining it at all. But whenever the opportunity arose, I jumped on it, and I haven't wavered since. It's only gotten more fun, and the songwriting's only gotten better. And yeah, I mean, like Sure said, some of this new stuff we have, it's really gonna like blow everyone's tops off. Such like a step forward in the right direction.
And also, as well, February 3rd. Oh, that definitely did, Jack. I appreciate that, man. But at the end of the day, too, man, it's really cool that, like, as you guys said, it's a joke record. How a joke record could actually find the missing link to Scarboro at that time, man. So it's crazy just how sometimes a record that you might not take seriously might actually become something great.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, February 3rd of 2017, you guys actually released the amazing 14-track album titled Here Comes the Hangover. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this amazing album, and of course, is it actually still available to be streamed or purchased today?
Yeah, all right, I'll go, I guess. I don't want to take up too much space. But yeah, it's available to be streamed if you go to our website, ScarboroughPunks.com. It's a link to our store. You can order it. We've surprisingly been sending some of those out over the years, especially during the pandemic, which was kind of cool. I don't know. It was our first full length. I think that we really just wanted to sort of capture everything that was happening in that period of time. And there was a couple of sort of holdover songs that had never been really played live or recorded that we sort of just play the basements and the bars around here in those days. And we just kind of didn't know what the hell we were doing. We know we wanted to record a really good record. Our good friend Francisco Botero, who worked over at Studio G, helped produce that. It just kind of captured a moment in life. I think overall was just kind of about the struggle with mental health in life and sort of the best ways to handle it and not the best ways of handling it. Which, I don't think we went in there with like trying to put together like a concept or whatever, but if you do kind of follow the record from beginning to end, it kind of has that story peppered in there. And, we were lucky to link up with WTF Records over in the Netherlands, who helped really put that record out and put some promotion behind it. And we got a really good reception out of it, which I don't think we were expecting really. And it was just dope, it was just like, it really made things pop off for us. So that's just kind of my memories of the time.
And one of the last questions I actually have before we move on to the second phase of Scarboro, I also read that before you guys actually went on your hiatus, you guys were actually gearing up to go on a European tour. I was wondering if you can tell us a bit more about what actually made you guys unfortunately not decide to go on tour, and of course, what led to the hiatus originally.
So let me find the diplomatic way of doing this. So the hiatus comes because I get tired of just talking shit on the internet and put my money where my mouth is, and ended up running for Congress here in the U.S. Which originally was going to be like just a couple of months. I didn't think I was going to win. That was we were just kind of trying to get a message out there. But then one thing led to another, and I ended up kind of getting sucked into the world of politics and trying to make the change. And it just kind of put us on a timeout, and the pandemic happened as well. As far as what happened to Europe, so the best way to say is that
some shit went down.
yeah. We there was I don't want to be disrespectful of anyone. Long story short, there was some issues with folks that struggled with some mental health stuff, some substance use stuff. We tried to be super helpful and get them on the right track, and we sort of were getting there. And in one of their episodes, unfortunately, they kind of sabotaged that situation with the agency that we were working with, and it kind of unraveled for us. And so that that kind of fed into giving us a timeout anyway. I think it kind of knocked the wind out of our sails. I mean, looking back on it now, I think at the time we were just trying to power through and just keep things going. But I think, you know, when you're working as hard as we were working, especially back then, like, you know, just trying to make things happen, and on the heels of Here Comes the Hangover and Wolf on the Radio, it kind of just put a hard pause on everything. So yeah, that's the diplomatic story.
Also, as well, April of 2024, you guys have also had the opportunity to have your track, A New Normal, be a part of the Mild Chaos Records compilation vinyl titled Touch of Chaos Volume 1. I was wondering, how did you guys ultimately land that opportunity with Mild Chaos Records?
They just reached out when, you know, a couple of folks had name dropped us to them. They're a new label trying to get off the ground. It's been a pretty good experience working with them, actually. It's really dope. And yeah, they offered us a spot on this comp, and, you know, having come up on sort of the old school comps, I thought it was great because, you know, you don't really get to see sort of the you know, Epitaph and Fat Wreck type compilations anymore, especially now with sort of the digital era. So it was just cool to be able to get that opportunity. Sort of, it kind of landed in our lap.
And I gotta say as well, they definitely should ink you guys to a deal, man, or offer something. Because I gotta say, you guys are an amazing band, and this is an amazing label. So two amazing things coming together can equally make something extraordinary. That's what I just gotta say. So hopefully, Mild Chaos, if you're watching, kind of giving you a nudge here, you know what I mean? Offer that deal.
Tell me where to sign.
But also as well, May 5th of 2024, you guys actually released your most recent single titled Liminal Space. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about your most recent single, and of course, can we actually expect more music in the year 2024? Because I do know you did mention earlier on in the interview about, kind of hinted at a new album.
Yeah, so, you know, New Normal and Liminal Space are kind of like the first two tracks that we threw down just to get back in the mix of things. They're also sort of the two first songs that I wrote in like 4 years. Like, I hadn't been writing or anything during the hiatus. Liminal Space specifically, you know, ended up with a late in life neurodivergent diagnosis. You know, I had just left my job in politics, and it's been feeling like I've been wearing like all these fucking masks for, I don't know if I can curse on this thing. Sorry if I can't.
Oh, we're uncensored, man. Definitely swear away.
Oh, fucking great. So yeah, you know, it really, but you know, while it's personal, it's really anybody in their life who's ever sort of struggled with who they are and kind of finding who they are at any point in their life. It's really sort of the theme behind it. And, you know, like having Radhika on these last two tracks, like, has been fucking dope as hell. Like, you know, like her background when she introduced herself to us was as a jazz drummer. So we were just kind of like, I don't know how this is going to work. But then it was just like fucking, it's the perfect thing that we were missing. It's just like her ability to really improvise and do some really cool stuff on that. You know, it's been fun. And so as far as new music, like, you know, there's a ton of new shit that we're in the process of learning. We've probably learned about 7 of the new ones, not counting Liminal Space and New Normal. And then, you know, the hope is to get to around like 16 and then whittle down for the full length they were trying to work on. But yeah.
Yeah, writing.
And I gotta say as well, Liminal Space is absolutely tearing up the airwaves here on Punk World Radio FM. So, I mean, you guys keep making it, we're gonna keep spinning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just saying it's been quite like.
Oh, you cut out a little bit.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying it feels like everyone is in the right space to kind of create new music and collaborate. So it's I don't want to jinx it, but it's coming very easy to put together to make the music. So that's been really nice. Yeah.
And when you said as well, because I do know you mentioned a few minutes ago about jazz drumming, I have to ask you, like, what got you into jazz drumming, and of course, hardcore punk rock? 'Cause I mean, two different entirely genres, but you're definitely doing amazing things in the music industry. So I gotta just dig into the jazz drumming aspect and just know what really got you into that.
Oh, for sure. The project that I was involved in before this with modern, it had elements of like hip hop, punk. It wasn't like pure like jazz. So kind of, Uh,
Oh, you cut out again.
yeah, not I would say. But I listened to punk growing up. I love punk rock, so uh, it was pretty. It felt pretty nice to come back to it.
And I guess since jazz drumming, that topic is on the table, I have to ask, do you guys have any plans to implement some of her jazz drumming on a future Scarboro song on the newest album? I gotta ask, because I don't know, I know hardcore punk rock and jazz drumming don't go well together, but I think you guys can definitely make that happen.
You can definitely hear it, like, in all the new songs. Like, there's like a comfortability of being in the pocket without it being too, like, stereotypically, like, rigid and punk. So it's like, that's where I think it kind of comes out. I think it lends itself to just, like, letting the band breathe as, like, a whole thing in, like, its own way. That's not super, like, formulaic, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you'll definitely be able to hear some of it, like, you know, rather than just writing, like, super straightforward 3-chord punk rock songs. Like, you know, each part's gonna have its own vibe. You know, like, her playing is very dynamic and allows each part to have its own space, rather than just, like, I don't know, be a full static image. So, I mean, that's definitely how I think it kind of comes out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But also as well, June 13th of 2024, so just in a matter of days, you guys will be taking the stage at Gold Sounds out there in Brooklyn, New York, at 44 Wilson Avenue. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this up-and-coming show, and of course, what can the Scarboro fans expect from this up-and-coming show as well?
Are you going to be there?
I will say I always wanted to visit New York, especially Brooklyn, but unfortunately I don't have a passport. I mean, if Sleepy Joe falls asleep, maybe I can scurry across the border, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, I'm not that lucky.
Yeah, you know, we're pretty stoked. We haven't played Gold Town since before the hiatus, so it's kind of cool to be going back to some of the old venues that we used to sort of haunt. But we're playing with the Airist, which we're stoked with. We've never played with them. Scum City, who we've played with a few times, and then Dead on a Friday just filled in for Pal Pride, who unfortunately their singer's getting surgery and they had to drop off at the last minute. So you know, we're going to be probably polishing off some new ones. I mean, I think we have a few dates that are coming up right after that, and the goal is to start sort of bringing some of the new songs out onto the set, and yeah, you know, sort of the same old energy and vibe. You know, we still do our good old 25-minute sets, 14 songs as fast as we can possibly play them. So you know, a little bit of the old and a little bit of the new.
And can we ask them, are there tickets still available for this event? And of course, people that are watching that have their phones ready, where can they actually go to snag themselves some tickets?
Yes, I mean, you can go to either goldsongsbar.com, I think is their website, or on Dice. If you use Dice, you can look up Scarboro or the Airist, and you should be able to pop that up with that, or just, like, you know, go to our Instagram at Scarboro Punks with an X. We'll be popping the link up there, and we continue to push to get folks to come out and hang out with us.
And also, last but not least, what is next for Scarboro? Obviously, we talked about new music. We talked about this up-and-coming show that's just a matter of days away. But is there anything that I actually happen to miss? Anything else you guys still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? Well, we still got you here live on 99.9 Punk World Radio FM tonight.
We're coming to Canada.
Yeah, we're stoked for that. Yeah, we'll be in Toronto on the 21st? Yes, the 21st. We'll be in Toronto on the 21st, Montreal on the 23rd, and then we're in Detroit right before we do that. So, yeah, we're stoked to be hitting the road on a mini tour, and you know, see what's going on out there.
Oh yeah, and we just came out with a music video for New Normal.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Folks can check that out on YouTube. Yeah, it's fucking dope. We lucked out.
And I gotta say as well, Montreal is just a hop, skip, and a jump away from myself here in Prescott, Ontario. So I might just have to sneak over to Quebec, over to the French side, and see Scarborough. I might just have to do that.
Come through, I'll buy
Très
you a beer.
bien.
Have you guys ever actually came to Canada before, or is this your guys' first time?
No, first time for Scarborough.
Yeah, first time for Scarborough. I've been there with another band, but first time for Scarborough.
Well, I will say Canada definitely welcomes all three of you, and I can definitely say this: you will have a phenomenal time over here in Canada. You know, so I will say, don't let the stereotypes get you. Some people are nice, yes, but we're not all super nice. So some of us are arseholes. So watch out for them Quebec people. That's all I gotta say. If we have Quebec listeners, I am so sorry, but you understand.
It's all right. We're from New York. We're used to it.
But also, obviously, I know how to follow you guys on social media, because of course that's where we got connected and how we set up this interview. But for the people down here in Canada that might just be discovering Scarborough, how can they go about following all three of you amazing individuals all across all social media platforms if they're not already doing so? But this is a punk rock radio station, and you guys are a killer punk rock band, so I'm hoping they already smashed that follow button previously before this interview.
Yeah, I mean, we're at Scarborough Punks with an X, SCARBOROPUNX, pretty much on everything, except Twitter, or X, or whatever the fuck they're calling it now.
Spotify, our music out.
Yeah, you
And
can
I
follow
gotta
us
say,
all on
first and
Instagram.
foremost,
I'm at Jack Counts.
That's sure, I'm sure. Oh, the other way.
I'm on the Scarborough page too.
Yeah, if you're on the Scarborough page, you'll see all our individual links, so you can see all our cat pictures, because we love posting about our fucking cats.
hey, you can't go wrong. I'm a cat guy myself, so I mean, I am honestly
You
like,
better be.
I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for kitties, man.
Aw. Our gentler side
But
comes
again-
out at the very end.
I gotta say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much again for your time. It was such an honor speaking with all three of you. Thank you so much for just giving not only myself but the radio station airwaves a bit of your Thursday evening. I know you're very busy individuals, so again, thank you so much for your time. I will definitely try my best to make it out to your Montreal show later on this month. But for now, have a phenomenal night, and we definitely shall talk again here soon.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us. Take care.
Thank you.
You as well. You're most certainly welcome.